Judge, welcome.
Thank you.
You are probably the least productive member of your district court, isn't that right?
Well, I have not considered myself in those terms, Senator.
Well, let me explain what I mean. You have 125 motions pending that you've declined to decide.
Let
me finish. That's more than any other district judge in the entire Seventh Circuit. In fact, you rank seventh highest nationally, do you not?
I am not familiar with those statistics, Senator Kennedy.
You haven't looked?
I did look in preparation for this hearing, but I didn't compare myself to others.
You haven't seen that you ranked the seventh, the worst in the country in terms of making decisions?
You are the first to tell me this. And I think for me, I stress the quality of my decision making. And as I explained, I came on, I was the first district judge to come on during this administration.
Yeah, but so were all the others. I mean, there have been 68 district judges confirmed in the 117th Congress. In terms of motions pending for more than 6 months, you rank number 3. You all came on at the same time. You all had the same problems with COVID. You're the third worst. You really think of all the other district judges in the Seventh Circuit, you're the one that ought to be promoted based on this record?
Senator, this is something that I've discussed with my fellow judges. Many of us new judges from...
I thought you said you'd never looked at these statistics.
I haven't, these particular statistics I am not familiar with. But in terms of new judges, both from the current administration and the former administration, we are quite a collegial bunch, and oftentimes talk about the pressures of a new judge and the way reassignments work in our district, which is that you get, for example, 300 cases.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. I'm familiar with the procedure in federal court. Here's what I'm trying to understand. Why is your record so bad?
Well, I don't view it that way, Senator. When I look at the quality of my decision-making, the feedback that I get from parties,
Of course parties are not going to criticize you. They want you to rule in their favor.
I understand, Senator Kennedy.
I mean, that's just the way it works. Help me understand why you have such an abysmal record in moving cases. I mean, it costs a lot of money to litigate, and people are paying lawyers, and time is money. And of all the district court judges in the Seventh Circuit, you're the worst in terms of moving cases. Why do you think you deserve to be promoted over all of those others?
So, Senator, again, I'm not familiar with the statistics, but I stand by my record and that I give parties what they need. I think, I am regularly in my courtroom. I am regularly issuing decisions. I just came on at a very difficult time where there was a backlog in the courts.
So did everybody else. Let me ask you, when you were a partner in your law firm, you volunteered to write a brief on behalf of the Brady Center. You wrote the brief, and this is what you said. You volunteered for this. You weren't being paid. Is that right?
This was a pro bono case that one of my partners brought in, yes.
You said, quote, assault weapons may be banned because they're extraordinarily dangerous and are not appropriate for legitimate self-defense purposes, close quote. Tell me what you meant by assault weapons.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy. Just to clarify there, I was local counsel. Our Supreme...
Yeah, but you wrote the brief. Tell me what you meant by assault weapons.
Senator Kennedy, actually, I did not write the brief. The brief was written by,
You signed the brief, though, didn't you?
correct, I signed the
When you
brief.
sign a brief, you're testifying to the court that everything in it is true, right?
Yes,
Okay. So they're your words in terms of the court, right?
well, you're correct, Senator Kennedy. I would never
Tell me
sign,
what you meant by assault weapons.
so I am not a gun expert, and at the time, that brief, I think, was about 10
You
years.
were giving the court advice about, say, ban assault weapons. What is, you told the court you were an expert. Just tell me what you wanted to ban.
Senator, sitting here today, as I said, I did not write that brief. I was local counsel.
Sign the brief.
I understand. At the time
Tell
that
me what you wanted to ban. That's all I want to know, Judge.
I don't remember the exact definition of assault weapons in the ordinance that was at issue.
So you submitted a brief to an appellate brief, you signed it, and you don't know what, and you said abolish assault weapons, and you don't know what you wanted them to abolish?
Senator, at the time that I signed the brief, I read the brief because our Supreme Court required an Illinois bar member to sign the brief. I was not responsible for researching the content.
You were responsible for the brief. You signed it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sitting here today, I do not remember the characteristics of that were cited in the ordinance for the assault weapons ban. It's not an area of practice that I have specialized in. I'm sure 10 years ago, I could have answered your question.
And
But
Judge,
sitting here today,
you think you
Senator,
deserve
your
to be
time has
promoted
expired.
with this record?
Senator, I stand by my record. I stand by my record.
Senator Butler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations to you and your family. I know that none of us get to these opportunities by ourselves, and so I just appreciate all of you for being of support, and congratulations to you for being nominated. It is definitely no small feat. To follow on a little bit on my colleague's questioning, if you were to be confirmed for this position, would you follow precedent on gun cases and other cases that might come before you?
Absolutely, Senator Butler. I would follow Brune, Heller, McDonald on the Second Amendment cases. The first thing I do on any case is look at precedent. That's what guides me in my decision-making.
And to the point about your caseload, you noted earlier that you had come on and were assigned well over 300 cases. Can you talk to us a little bit about the process through which you worked to bring those numbers down?
Thank you, Senator. So the number was close to 300, and then within 3 months of me getting on, 3 additional judges retired or left the bench, which quickly brought my number to 360. And so, I had a whole system of triage with spreadsheets, trying to figure out where each case was, which cases needed to be set for trial, which cases had pending motions for summary judgment, which cases had pending motions to dismiss. I tried to lop off a large chunk of motions to dismiss to decide whether the case was going to go forward or not. I set cases for trial. Some cases settled. So it was an intensive triage effort that I engaged in, and I love Excel. It's a wonderful tool. And I think we were very productive. And so at the same time also that I got the reassigned cases, you go on the wheel. So you're also receiving new cases, and you want to get those cases going in an expedient fashion, right? So you're dealing with the backlog and also dealing with new cases coming in.
So you had the 360 after your colleagues retired or left, and you were the recipient of or being assigned new cases as well. So the number was continuing to expand even as you were working through all of the different phases of each case and working them to conclusion.
That's correct. And I think the number is close to 1,000 cases that have been assigned to me.
Important context. Thank you. And just so that we have an understanding just about how you handle transition, right? Being assigned that number of cases, taking on that number of new cases, working through all of the motions. You also have experienced other opportunities of transition in your legal career. Can you talk with us about the process that of learning and getting up to speed and ensuring timely justice for those who would be coming before you, the transition that you made from being a law partner to a district court judge?
Thank you, Senator Butler. So I'm a big believer in asking for help. And I am very blessed in the Northern District of Illinois that I have many colleagues who shared best practices, and I came up with my own as well. Worked with my law clerks. I have a very experienced courtroom deputy who's been invaluable to me. And so, I've done my best to sort of get into the job. And the job of a district judge is very multifaceted in that we're hearing motion calls, typically for me, 3 mornings a week, in addition to issuing orders and opinions, in addition to the criminal work, sentencings, for example, that I devote a lot of time to preparation for. So, on every daily basis, every week, I have to do sort of my plan for the week. And of course, planning only goes so far because there are emergencies in the district court, TROs, et cetera. So I do my best to allocate my time wisely.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. It's a fantastic nominee that the President is putting before us, not only qualified, but organized, an attention to detail, and a commitment to timely justice for those who appear before